The second way to solve algebraically is solved by elimination. What does it mean to eliminate? It means that we get rid of something or we can cancel it out in math. So our goal here is to cancel out one of the variables so that we can solve for the one that's left and then take that and substitute it back in, just like we do for substitution. Remember that all answers for systems are points. So we need both x and y. The only exception is for no solution or infinitely many, when the variables completely cancel out. So what are our steps? Our steps to use elimination. Step number 1 is you're going to get opposite coefficients. So if you have a coefficient of 3, you need the other coefficient to be negative 3. If you have a coefficient of negative 14, we would need the other coefficient to be 14. Once we have opposite coefficients, we're going to add the equations together. We will solve for the variable. And then just like when we did substitution, last step is substitute back in and solve for the variable that remains. So let me show you an example. So here's our example. We have 2x plus 3y is equal to 6 and negative 3x minus y is equal to negative 16. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to make these first two opposites of each other. So I have to think, how do I get them to be the same number? Well, if I multiply 2 by 3, that will give me 6x. And if I multiply negative 3 by 2, that will give me negative 6x. Then I'll have opposites. So let's do that. When we multiply, we have to make sure that we multiply the entire equation. So I'm going to distribute 3 to 2x. I'm going to distribute 3 to 3y. And I'm going to distribute to the other side of the equal sign to 6. I get 6x plus 9y is equal to 18. Now I'm going to distribute my 2 to the negative 3x, to the negative 1y, and to my negative 16. That gives me negative 6x minus 2y is equal to negative 32. All of this was step number 1. We want opposite coefficients. Now that we have opposite coefficients, we can do step number 2. Step number 2 is to add. So we're just combining like terms. 6x and negative 6x cancel to 0. 9y and negative 2y give me 7y. 18 plus negative 32 is negative 14. Step number 3 is that we're going to solve this. So we're going to divide both sides by 7. We get y is equal to negative 2. Once we have it solved, we will substitute it back into one of the equations. I'm just going to pick the first one to be able to solve for the other variable. So I have 2x plus 3. I'm putting the parentheses where the y is equal to 6. We know that our y is negative 2, so I can plug that into that spot. So that we plugged into this first equation, and we plugged in for the y. So this is step number 4. We have 2x minus 6 is equal to 6. Add 6 to both sides. 2x is equal to 12. When we divide both sides by 2, we get x is equal to 6. So the final answer has to be in a point. 6 The y value that we got in blue is -2, and that is my answer, 6, -2. So to reiterate the steps, we need these first two numbers to be opposites of each other. Then we can add, and when we add them, they should always cancel out. We solve, and then we take that answer, we plug it back in, and let us solve for the other equation. That's solving by elimination.